Hello, my name is Raymond Ealy. I'm the Executive Director and founder of STEAM Coders. We teach students the fundamentals of science, technology, engineering, art, and math, also known as STEAM, in preparation for academic and career opportunities. As part of the mission, we focus on logic, critical thinking, and problem solving. For more information on our organization, please visit our website. We look forward to hearing from you. At STEAM Coders, my role is executive director and founder. So my hands touch virtually everything in the organization. So I organize the classes, help recruit the students, find locations for us to have classes, schedule field trips, and anything and everything that goes along with building the program from the ground up. We do one-on-one tutoring in math and other subjects. So we try to basically cover as many bases as we can, and my job is to make sure that it's all working and everything is in sync. STEAM Coders started 10 years ago in Pasadena, and I observed that a lot of minority students were not involved in the STEAM disciplines. Their parents didn't work in the industry and they just didn't have access. Many did not have computers. Many did not have internet. So it was a interesting thing to see how they would progress both in school and then when they graduated later. So I decided to give them some opportunities outside of their school during the day to learn the skills. And I found that many of the students enjoyed the STEAM disciplines. They just needed some hands-on instruction, they needed some equipment, and they needed people around who encouraged them to follow those fields even though they didn't know anybody in those particular fields. We split off from another nonprofit called the Gamma Zeta Boulay Foundation, which focused on mentoring males. And so in that regard, we had a lot of parents who liked the program. That started in 2009, but they had girls who weren't eligible to join that program. And so after fielding enough questions about it, I said, we need something that's co-ed. And I decided to start STEAM Coders and move it away from their mission, which is continuing, to add a different element to it and to move forward. When we first started, coding was the main thing, and scratch coding, a basic coding element to get them in. Our primary audience was elementary and middle school students. So we started with the basic programming. As we progressed, we added JavaScript and Python, more difficult areas of the coding spectrum. And then we branched out into robotics, and then we did design. So now we're trying to implement things like AI and machine learning. So we want the kids to see everything in that field, just get a taste of it so that they can be better prepared for school. And when they start thinking about careers, they have an idea of where they might want to go. So we want to expose them to as much as we can and then help them along the way and then be there for them when they move on from STEAM Coders to either career or college. There's a curriculum that we have, and then there's online lessons, and we work with some corporations that have coding platforms or robotics platforms, and they share those with us at no cost. And so we have a lot to choose from, and it's getting the instructors that we need who are familiar with the content to help teach the students. So it works out real well. We have good partners and eager students. We recruit students from schools primarily. We have good relationships with different school districts, and so we inquire about going on campus and having classes. And as a result, often when parents and students enjoy the classes, they want to engage in our weekend classes and our summer camps. And then we go out in the community too and recruit students, talk to parents, talk to instructors, talk to nonprofit organizations, and we find students that way because some of the stuff we do is not readily available to the students that we work with. So we have to make that extra effort to go out there and find people who are willing to give it a try and usually they're very happy that they enrolled their students. I am most proud of the fact that we started 10 years ago, and many of the kids who were in middle school and or high school have gone on to college. And most importantly, they've returned in the summer to work for us. So they enjoyed the experience, and they can relate to the students in the class who never had any STEAM-related classes, took them with STEAM coders, went to college, decided to major in some of those areas, knowing that they had the fundamentals in place, and then to come back and share their experience with the current generation of students. That makes me feel good. That means it's working. We are locked into community activities, events, people, schools, community organizations, nonprofit organizations, churches. We try to keep our ear to the ground to hear about need. Students don't have this, don't have that. When COVID struck, we had a lot of families who were supposed to be doing their academic work online, but it's hard when you don't have the technology. So we invested in buying Chromebooks and laptops for students, and also providing 1 year of internet service so they could log in and get their lessons from the school. So listening, being available, and then stepping up to the plate when needed has benefited us over the years. One challenge that we have is we really like to give the students an opportunity to go on field trips. So we've taken them to a variety of places. We've taken them to the Google facility in Southern California, which is in the Santa Monica area. We take them to Warner Brothers. We take them to Nickelodeon. So we like for them to be at these places so they could see what's going on, talk to the professionals, and get out of their environment, which is not conducive to learning about all of this. So transportation, bus transportation, the pricing has gone up tremendously because we'll take 40 to 50 students at a time. So trying to get a bus is a lot more than it was 10 years ago. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we have. And then even for students, even today, having the equipment. You're in a household and even getting Wi-Fi, but if you have 4 or 5 people on it at the same time, the quality of the Wi-Fi is not that good. So it's making sure students have the tools needed to be successful. The core group that we work with is middle school students, and the next group is elementary school students. So we're trying to beef up the high school component. The challenge with the high school students is that they have so many options, whether it's sports or various and sundry things, preparing to graduate, so that they're not as excited about joining STEAM coders. And oftentimes it's because they didn't have any basic computer science experience under their belt. So starting over is tough. So we're trying to bring them into the fold slowly, provide them with the resources that they need and the instruction and encouragement that they need, and to remind them that it's never too late to jump in and learn how to do it, because these are skills, or sometimes people call them future-ready skills, that they're going to need, and it's never too late to get involved. It's a combination of them reaching out and us reaching out, and referrals by different people in the community that tell us you should talk to this group or this person. And so it's all of that. And then of course, the parent network is very strong. So parents will refer other parents, kind of like soccer moms, and they'll keep the chatter going, and I'll field their questions. And then we have one-day workshops to find out how interested they are. So now we have a nice network of parents, schools, nonprofits, churches. All of these groups we continue to stay in touch with and collaborate with, and ask them to send their students to us, or we'll go to their facility and run a camp or a workshop to make sure that all the kids who want an opportunity get an opportunity, cost not being a factor. There are a lot of organizations for profit that do what we do. We're one of the few that is strictly nonprofit. So cost is not a barrier for students to get involved, and that's what we want to continue to make that easy on the parents, on the household. If that student wants to be involved, we want them involved, and it does not matter what it costs. We provide equipment, we provide instruction, So we want them all to be in, and we also tell them bring a friend if necessary, so you can enjoy the experience more. So that's the main difference between us and a lot of the other organizations. They're not built to be nonprofit. I can't think of any misconceptions other than sometimes people are concerned that it's not challenging enough. But we have kids who have zero background. So what we try to do to address that is in our classrooms, we might have 3 to 4 volunteers, teachers, and what we call site coordinators. So that if we need to pull a student aside to give them some extra help while the class is running, we want to be able to do that. So we have different levels of learning. You know, you have your beginners, the intermediate, and then the advanced. So we like to have people in the room that can address either one of those groups, and we do. So when the kids finish, we want them to be prepared to go to that next level. We're confident that we can increase the number of students by 20 to 25% per year. You know, the more organizations we partner with, the more outreach we do to find students, that we can do that and bring them more into the fold. And then just as importantly, as these kids progress through the educational system, we want them to start increasing their interest in these areas and skill set, so that when they go to college, they major in these areas and they find time to come back and volunteer to help the future generations. On our website, we have a page where you can volunteer and also where you can inquire about employment. So there's plenty of opportunities for people to volunteer with the kids in the classroom, join us on field trips if they have the time. So that's always going to be out there. We try to build that up as much as we can so that people get involved, but more importantly, so the students can see that people have a vested interest in their success. It's very important that we teach students the value of computer science, or more importantly, STEAM. As we watch the world turn, technology is a critical element in how we move forward. And the more people we have who are versed in these areas, the better it's going to be for society, where they get jobs, take care of themselves and their families, but more importantly, to help the overall environment, the community, all the things that need to be addressed. If they have the skill set to do these things, we're going to all be better off.
Nonprofits tackle the challenges that shape our community, but they can't do it alone. Jericho Road, Pasadena connects local nonprofits with skilled volunteers who provide support in areas like website design, strategic planning, marketing, and more. We also offer professional development workshops and strengthen boards to help nonprofits thrive. Whether you're a nonprofit in need of support or a professional eager to make a difference, join us to help build a stronger, more connected community together.
I'm Andy Eaton in my second year of board service for Jericho Road, but my involvement with Jericho Road actually goes back nearly 15 years because my wife was one of the founding board members. Jericho Road, Pasadena was founded in 2010 as a social justice program at Neighborhood Unitarian Universalist Church in Pasadena. And it was founded really because we saw a need for the nonprofit communities in Pasadena to benefit from the kinds of services that Jericho Road provides.
The key programs at Jericho Road, Pasadena, our first one is our skill-based volunteer program that we've been doing since the beginning. We work with amazing volunteers who take their professional skills that they've developed and bring them to nonprofits for projects to help them run better. We also train people to be on boards, we do board matching, and we've recently expanded to do professional development for local nonprofit staff. All of our programs are designed to support our nonprofits in capacity building and to help them run their organizations better so that they fulfill their mission and can do a better job at serving the community as a whole.
One of the success stories for Jericho Road, Pasadena is a separate nonprofit that I'm involved with called Coffee with a Cause. Originally founded as a social enterprise, Rosebud Coffee, in 2017 as a way of serving transitional age youth coming out of homelessness, foster care, justice system. And when Rosebud was first started up, Dan Davidson, the executive director, approached Jericho Road for assistance with a business plan, and I acted as a volunteer. Eventually, Coffee with a Cause became an offshoot from Rosebud Coffee, and I'm the chair of the board, so my involvement has continued, and so has Jericho Road's involvement, because since that first project, we've done 2 strategic plans with Coffee with a Cause because we keep exceeding our goals.
I'm Ashok Bogani, and my title is I'm a board member as well as a consultant in strategic planning for Jericho Road, Pasadena. And that is such an important thing for a nonprofit, because unless they know what their vision is of the future and how to get there, they will not be able to proceed in an organized way to the future. One example is what Andy talked about for Coffee with the Cause. Other couple of places where I have helped. One is Pasadena Audubon Society, where we created a strategic plan, and they are a thriving nonprofit. Other one is a nonprofit in Azusa, which is serving the Hispanic community over there, both the children and the parents. And I'm working with them to prepare a strategic plan so they can do their work more efficiently and effectively.
Hello, my name is Michelle Mapp, and I'm one of the board members at Jericho Road, Pasadena. I'm a nonprofit management consultant and really excited about the coming years. In fact, we're currently in the process of planning our future through strategic planning process. 2 of our known goals are to expand our volunteer base throughout the San Gabriel Valley, bringing in skilled professional volunteers, and then reaching more nonprofits and making those connections for our community between our skilled volunteers and the nonprofits within the entire San Gabriel Valley.
The question is what sets us apart? And the answer is that it's a different kind of a model from many other nonprofits, that we help other nonprofits in becoming better. And that has a massive implication for a community. And we are the only one in Pasadena which is doing that.
So the work that we do is by nature collaborative. We're working hands-on with the nonprofits on what their needs are, tailored to what their specific requests are for our projects. And then the nonprofits are also telling me what kind of trainings they need in town. So everything we do is a collaboration with our nonprofit partners. So we stay informed with our community's needs. One, I have a lot of coffee meetings with executive directors around town, but also in our workshops, people tell us what they need. We do post-workshop surveys. We do surveys after our projects to see how things go. And we're just connected. I go to a lot of community events and try to talk to our nonprofits as much as possible.
One of our biggest challenges has been how to reach out and make ourselves known to the 2,000 plus nonprofits in the Pasadena community. We've served over the lifetime of Jericho Road over 300 of those, but that's still a small fraction of the number out there that could benefit from our services.
One of the biggest misconceptions is that most of our volunteers are retired, or that you have to be retired to volunteer with us. We have amazing retired volunteers, but most are actually working professionals who are up to date on the latest trends in their field. Another misconception is that we're a religious-based organization because Jericho Road is in our name. We're not. We're a secular organization. The idea behind the name was based on Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech about the Good Samaritan on Jericho Road and how everybody can do good in this world.
So Jericho Road, Pasadena exists to serve nonprofits in the nonprofit community. So our vision for the future is a thriving ecosystem of nonprofits throughout the San Gabriel Valley. And knowing that the nonprofit community can make more of an impact because we're able to provide some of the resources that are so needed and sometimes just aren't available through lack of funding or different challenges.
There's many ways people can get involved with us. One of the big ways is we're always looking for more volunteers. If anyone has skill sets that cross sectors, we need those professional skills for our nonprofits. If anyone works for a nonprofit and there are issues that we could possibly support, we'd love to hear from you. If you need workshops or training, we'd love to know. We're also always looking for people who want to be board members on nonprofits and are just interested in supporting the community. A nonprofit community really fills a vital space. It fills in the gaps that government and corporations can't do, but nonprofits are always struggling with budgetary concerns and frequently sort of at a bit of a disadvantage. I'm really lucky that we're able to help support them and fill in gaps, provide them with skills that they couldn't afford otherwise, and to provide them with really affordable training to help them make sure that they can fulfill their missions.